Good Monday morning, everyone. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro Zoom. We're so thankful that you're here. I am thankful that you're here. I love your consistency. I look forward to Monday mornings, knowing we're going to get to chat and just getting to know you guys. And the fun of April is it's our national conference in Phoenix this year. I hope you are planning to attend. If you don't have your tickets, let's get it. There's still hotel rooms to be had. People are always giving up hotel rooms at the end, and sometimes you can get those at a discounted price if they've already paid for one room. You just never know. So where there's a will, there's a way. Talk to your upline. They will help you get there, I promise you. And there's just so much good that comes from coming to conference. And it's something I look forward to. So sadly missed the COVID years that we didn't get to go. I think that really kind of tossed us all backwards a bit, not getting to be together, because there's something very powerful about the connections that are made at conference. It's from the friends that you meet in line waiting to buy t-shirts and postcards, or some of those friendships, like I know them from that. Like that's how we met each other, and we've stayed connected in the business. And then you just see different Juice Plus people or business people on social media, but then to see them in person and get to say hello and meet them, hearing stories. I do encourage you, if you're going to conference, ask everybody, what's your story? And just be really curious. How did you hear about this? How did you get started in the business? How long have you been here? What's some advice that you can give me? Like, it's just a great way to realize there's people from all walks of life that do this type of business, right? Sometimes when you're by yourself in your town, if you don't have a lot of teams surrounding you yet, you kind of feel like, am I the only crazy one that thinks that this is a good idea? Like, where is everyone? How come not everyone is excited as I am? And then you go and you see people have Juice Plus shirts and their Juice Plus bags, and you're like, look, they're one of us. I'm one of them. There's more people like me. And it's just super encouraging. So please come. Like I said, your upline will help you get there. I promise you. Somebody up the line is going to invest in you and would love for you to come. It's just such a great chance. So one of the things that we do when we're walking into a new month is sort of a time of reflection. And so in your DMO planner, this is April. This is the last month of my planner, just from how I had started it. So April is we're now into April. So I'm just looking at like the monthly page here. And on this side are the questions, the think it and ink it questions. So we're just going to go through those today, because maybe they've been sort of overlooked by you. You haven't really utilized that very much. And we're going to talk about kind of why I put those in there, and then the impact those questions can have on our business as we're reflecting of last month and then planning ahead this month. And I know Kurt Beavers has an amazing call that he's been doing once a week. I don't know if you guys have tapped into that coaching that he does, but he talks about like the first week, what activity do you do to really set yourself up well to be able to walk strong into your business month? And then as you go along each week, he's kind of giving you activity and ideas to just stay strong, and then at the end of the month really wrapping up that month. So it takes being intentional, because I don't know about you guys, but like the days go by and I have not been super engaged with my DMO planner, and I can tell my brain is like all over the place. I've got names popping into my head. I've got people, like I'm thinking at 11 o'clock at night, oh, I need to follow up with her. Like I just don't feel like I really have anything under control. We've had like a gazillion things happening the last couple of weeks, and I've just let that steal my attention and time. And I don't know if you guys find that that is really easy to do. Like that happens by default. And, with my husband's need me to come down and, can you come help me with this thing? Can you come help me with this? Like I say yes. And I drop, what I'm doing. Like he really does need my help with that. So it's easy to drop our Juice Plus business, right? Because nothing really happens right away. Like if I don't call, that person, and, I would say the most important is letting our customers know, hey, your box is going to be shipping. If you don't do that you will see result probably within the next 4 months, you'll see cancellations. So if anything, you got to let your customers know their boxes are shipping. So that's a great activity at the beginning of the month for this week to be able to do. I already have my printouts for who's going to be shipping this month. And I already know like what date they start. The 10th of this month for me on this sheet. On a different one, I think it was the 8th. So I don't have that immediate pressure right now. But if I wait until the night of the 9th, that's going to be stressful, right? Like that doesn't make sense. And I'm most likely going to let something fall through the cracks. So just, in 30 minutes today of sending out messages to at least through the 15th of the month. And sometimes I'll do the whole month and just say, hey, I know I'm a little bit early, but we got a lot going on this month. I want to make sure I let you know it's going to be shipping on the 27th. Are you okay with that? They can adjust, and, customers are okay with that too. So that's something to think about. That's a high level activity, I would say, for this week of letting, printing out that from your classic office. I'm sure there's a way to do it from the new office. Maybe one of you guys can send us a video. I've done it before, but I just default to classic because I know how to do it well and I can do it fast without that learning curve. But all of that to say, I've really just not been super intentional about using my DMO planner. And I can feel it. I can tell. My desk has papers everywhere. It's all the things that I say why we have the DMO planner. And like, I know that. And so just a reminder to get it out. This is a new month, and start really plugging into it, because what we can do is think, oh, conference is coming. This is the month of conference. When I get back from conference, I'll really get going with my business. And we're going to lose 20 days of really great business activity. Right? Like, why would we do that to ourselves? That's a self-sabotage in and of itself. And just like that idea of, okay, after this, then I'll get going. There's always something that's going to fill in our time. There's always something that's going to come up. There's always something that's going to steal our attention away. And so it just takes being super intentional. So I would encourage you, don't be thinking, oh, when I get back from conference, I'll do some events. Go ahead and get some on your planner, on your calendar, and start inviting to those. We're doing 2 of them this month before conference, and then 1 after. We've already got it planned. So we're doing a coffee chat, which I've talked to you guys about before, a Saturday morning, and then we're going to do a Tuesday night event at my house with dinner and couples. And those are just a couple of days apart, so that if they can't come to one, hopefully they can come to the other. And then, we do have Easter in here that weekend. Next weekend is kind of, it's going to be difficult to do any events around that time, as a lot of people are either going out of town or having family in town. So just be intentional about your dates set around that. And then we're doing a wrap up after conference, the Saturday afterwards, at a coffee shop. And those that are coming to conference, if you're listening to me, they don't know this, but they're going to help me in doing the updates to the rest of the team that wasn't able to come. So be thinking about that. And I would just encourage you, if you're like, I really want to build a team of people. There's really not anyone else around me. I don't have upline that does support after conference. Then you do that. That was something I was intentional about as I was sales coordinator to SSC and Q. If I went to conference or I heard a training, I would take that information. I would put it into some sort of training, a PowerPoint or whatever. And then I would gather the team that I could, and then I would teach them what I learned. And that really is a step into leadership. And you don't have to do it all by yourself. There's things that will be done online, but it's easy to default to your upline doing a wrap up like on Zoom, and everyone get on there and you hear it. They're going to be able to give more details. You don't have to do the whole conference, but pick some training that like really stood out to you. Take really good notes during that training and just think, this was something I really enjoyed. I got a lot out of. I want to make sure my team knows the same thing, and then just do a fun get together and train them on whatever that was. But I promise you, that's going to help propel you into leadership as you learn something. Now take that information and then give that back to your team. And when you really start doing that, whether that's in a product presentation, a business presentation, or like a team training, those are 3 areas that you want to get better at, right? Like, think about a national marketing director. If you have a goal to be an NMD, I promise you they do their own health events. I promise you they're able to present the business, and I promise you they're able to do some sort of team training by the time they get to NMD, right? They had to start somewhere. They had to start practicing. Their poor team at some point had to learn with them. And, like, you got to start somewhere. But if that's your goal, then start doing the activity of the things that people in those positions do. And you grow into that leadership. We're not given titles with this type of business because of longevity, right? Like, there are some companies that you work with and you get title positions because you've been there longer and you have developed some skill sets into a different little niche. And so then you're given the next title into that. But that's really not the way it is with us. It's not just longevity. It's really about developing the skill sets and then helping other people develop those skill sets. And that's what leadership is. Maybe sometimes we get lost of what is leadership. I'm afraid of being a leader. It's really just learning something and teaching that to other people. That's kind of simple, right? You guys probably did that in your past life, in your pre-Juice Plus life, right? There's something that you've done, whether you were teachers in school, whether you had little children of your own in some sort of job position, you probably had that skill set and didn't even recognize that that's what leadership is. So just an encouragement on all of those things. That's one of the benefits of going to conferences. You learn material that you can take and then share with your team. So let's look at this, ink it and think it. The first question is, what am I thankful for? And we know just from so many studies out there that gratitude will be something that really brings back life to your conversations. It affects your mindset. If somebody is really stuck in just a negative mindset, having them say out loud 3 things that they're grateful for. By the third thing, their face has softened, maybe they're smiling at that point, like they recognize, okay, not all of life is terrible. Not everything is going bad. When you start using those always, never, everything, those really large overlapping words that encompass all, that's really not most of the time that's true, not all areas of life. And so when you can start thinking about what are you grateful for, and you guys have heard the thief of joy is comparison. It will steal your joy. The antidote to that really is gratitude. So what are you thankful for? And we can think of a lot of things. You don't have to have something written there that is from your business. Just what are you grateful for? What right now comes to your mind? What are you thankful for in this side? It could be that you have a new team member. It could be one of your customers had a really great experience. I'm thinking of one gal who's dealt with constipation for 46 years and reached out to me and is sending me messages like, it works, things are moving. And it's like such a celebration that we can, help her with that. Cause I was like, 46 years. I don't even know, like, we're going to try. And we've been working with some bowel training, but like, I'm thankful for her. That's a big deal. That's a game changer for her life. So what are you thankful for? And then second is, what am I putting off that needs my attention? That question, I put that in there because there's always something that I'm putting it off. But yet when we put it off, it's still in our mind, right? Like it still weighs heavy on us. Sometimes it can even be like a hall closet that is just a mess. And it's like that hall closet being a mess somehow stays in my head as a mess. And it's always in the back of my mind. I need to clean that, or I need to pay that bill, or I need to make this doctor's appointment, or I need to call so-and-so or make amends with someone. What is it that's in the back of your mind that you know you're putting off that needs your attention? Maybe it's a big thing, maybe it's a little thing, but when you start to free up that space, it just really is a release to flow through the next thing that's coming into your space. So third question, what can I celebrate from last month? So look back. There's always something to celebrate. Who can you celebrate? Maybe somebody got a promotion. Maybe, it could be something that you've personally done, somebody that's on your team, a celebration for something that's happening with your customer. What can you celebrate from last month? Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with business. Maybe you finished reading a book that you really had been wanting to read, or you finished a class, or, it could be anything. What can you celebrate from last month? And then this one, what stress or concern worked itself out? And I put that in there because sometimes we just get stuck thinking, this is never going to come to an end. There's the never word, the always, never, all, those words that can come in. But often there's something that I'm like, oh, I was kind of stressed out about that last month, or really stressed out. And look, it did work out. Things do come to an end. Things get resolved, especially when you don't avoid them and you give them your attention. You can help resolve that. But what stress or concern worked itself out? That's going to help you realize as you walk into this month, there's going to be stresses and concerns, but they're going to work themselves out. They always do. There always ends up some sort of resolution or a solution. And then what am I spending too little or too much time on? So like for me, I took TikTok off of my phone. I cannot have it on there. And then dang it, if Facebook didn't put reels, and like it's the same thing, and it's like still on your phone. So one of the things you can do is put a timer on your phone to where it turned off after 15 minutes for social media, and you can choose which apps that you want to turn off, and then you have to put a code in it. If you're not self-disciplined enough to like, okay, I'm done with that, then my 15 minutes was up, then give somebody else the code and they have to put the code in for you. I'm about at that point, like seriously, I need to get on there. I need to post what I need to post. And then I just need to get off. I took the Facebook app even off of the phone. Like it's not on any of the screen. I have to search for it. It's too easy. My brain figured it out. It's like, oh yeah, that's not that hard. I'll just scroll down and like type it in and I can find it. So I still have a limit on it. And I think the next step is I'm gonna have to give my husband the password. He's probably be like, no, you're driving me crazy. I'm not gonna be your password provider. No, he totally would. So what are you spending too much or too little time on? So that's an example. Social media can be a time sucker for sure that you're spending too much time on, but what are you spending too little time on? For me, my answer is my DMO. I have not been plugging in, like really writing things down. There's too much in my head. So that's what I'm going to write on that. Like not actively writing down people's names, doing the activity, but it's not being captured. And because it's not being captured, I'm not going to be great at follow-up. I know I'm letting people and follow-up opportunities fall through the cracks because I can't keep it all in my brain. That's why we have this, right? So what are you spending too much or too little time on? And then which habits should I continue working on this month? So what area of growth are you working on? What do you want to continue to improve in? And maybe it's exercise, maybe it is reading, 15 minutes a day, maybe it's going for a walk every evening. What is it, that habit that you want to work on this month? And then lastly, what book will I read this month? So I mentioned this one before. I've read about half of it. This is Passion to Leadership. This is an excellent book from NMDs within our company. It's really a great book. It's fantastic, them sharing their stories. And if anything, what I have gotten out of it so far, I'm a little over halfway in it. It's little chapters because it's people's stories. So it reads really fast, but sort of like what I've gotten the big picture out of it is, why do I think I should be exempt from the hard things? Like, you read their stories and there's some really huge obstacles, like massive obstacles that they have overcome. So it's kind of like, why would I think that I should be able to not have to struggle or have the hard things? Like, of course I am, because that's life. It's not like somebody's just only pushing my button. Let's see, who do we pick that's going to have a struggle? Oh, let's push hers. Like, that's not how it works. Everybody has their own. It's how do you walk through that, and the resiliency that they have shown and the lessons they learned. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend it. Excellent book for team for conference. If you're looking for awards, it's fabulous book. So what book will you read this month? And then there's a space to write intentions. So what I meant by that when I put in here is like 511, 5 customers a month, 1 new partner signing up, and then 1 person to Partner Plus, probably that person. And then the next month you do 5 customers, another new partner, and then your other one is to help somebody get to QSC from before. And if you just keep that rotating in and out, that is going to really give you great momentum. So just writing this month for April before conference, I'm not going to use the excuse of conference and say, oh, after conference, I'll get going. Really being intentional before conference. I want 5 customers. I'm going to have 5 orders and 1 new partner that gets to Partner Plus this month. And if I had a Partner Plus last month to work towards getting them to QSC. And when you set your mind on it and you have that intention, subconsciously, your brain's going to help you get there. But then it's going to shape the activity that you do. If you know you're looking for 5 customers, 5 new orders, then you're going to need to do an event, right? At least 1 event. So you're like, okay, I'll set an event if I'm going to do an event, I want people there. Okay, I'm going to invite to the event. Who am I going to invite? And you start making a list. Then you send out the invitation. Like just the intention starts the activity. The activity is what builds the momentum. The momentum is what's going to get you results. We have to do the do. We have to do the activity. So setting the intention, what do you want this month? And then write that down and then be super intentional to make that happen. So I would love to know from you guys. We've got a couple minutes and I really do have to go at 9:30 today because of another Zoom I got to be on. But I would love to hear from you guys, like from those questions, what do you want to share with us? Pick one of those and share what stood out to you. Maybe it's what your goal is this month, what your intention is, what habit, any of them. Who wants to share?
Stacy, I don't just have one, but I know there's a lot of people on here that have been doing the Brandon Barber training, and he talks about doing a brain dump. And the DMO is a perfect brain dump because it gives you intention in different areas. And I have seen that more things are happening when I do a brain dump or fill out my DMO. And also that I can let go. It's just like I don't have to try to remember to do something because it all starts happening.
Yes. Yeah, it's the remembering to do things. Like we have, all these things happening in life, just to expect us to just be able to remember. It's just kind of not fair to ourselves, right? I like that.
Hey, Stacy, I was going to share what am I spending time on that I shouldn't be, or what's stressing me out. Thank you for sharing about setting limits on Facebook. I did not know. But I love that. And I actually figured out how to do that while you were talking. And also on Project Broadcast, you can go in and schedule messages to all your customers so that maybe you're not having to text them at the beginning of the month. You can text them like 7 days before their shipment, schedule it, and you do that at the beginning of the year. And that has really helped me not stress that anybody's order is going to ship without them knowing. So those are just 2 things I wanted to add.
Excellent. So you said you do that at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of the month?
Beginning of the month.
Okay. I was like, wow, she is on it. Like,
no, the beginning of each month.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I hadn't thought of that. I have them all in Project Broadcast. So that does make sense. Good idea. Thank you, Erin. Anyone else?
I have a question, Stacy. The DMO planner that I have, I bought like a bunch of them before. That page isn't in there, I don't think.
It is. It's probably just a smaller version of it.
Okay.
It's on the month page though.
Oh, I see. What am I thankful for? Okay, right on under the calendar.
Yeah,
okay.
You found it?
Yeah, I was looking for the big page. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll chime in real quick. Hi, Stacy.
Hello.
The one thing that's always has been helping me, and this has been for the last year, is just changing my words that come out of my mouth. And I know I've said it on here before, but dropping certain words that aren't helping me, like overwhelmed, busy. I don't use either one of those. If somebody says, for my week, I'm like, I had a full week this week, rather than I'm busy. I mean, we're all busy. And it just feels better internally to say those kind of words. And I do try, it's weird how I decided to drop them and did it. It just stopped saying them. And but the other thing is gratitude. I've been working on, I'd say gratitude in the morning. Like I like to start my day in gratitude. A lot of people say they do it at night, but for me, if I start my day there, it really, really helps. So just, you know, sometimes I write 5 things I'm grateful for and then why, or I write 10, just I'm grateful for this, and you know, just different variations of it. But those 3 things have really helped me a lot.
And you do write them like in a
I write them.
journal? Mhm.
Yeah, and so I like that for me, writing pen to paper, not typing, pen to paper is so therapeutic. And there's something about that writing that goes to your brain or something. And then it's a little more impactful for me. Sometimes I look at it and I go, what did I just say that I'm grateful for? And I couldn't read my writing.
And do you keep that by your bed, Beth, or like at a table that you drink coffee or?
That, yeah, I get up in the morning and I definitely make my coffee first. And then I was getting into remember the habits that don't serve me. I was realizing I was doing my coffee and Wordle first, but Wordle's not going to help my day. So I'm moving that. So today I started over and, you know, did my gratitude first and my meditation. I do meditation as well. So it's like anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. And that's it.
And is that meditation led through an app?
I found what's her name? Gabby Bernstein. I do one of her, I did a challenge with her. It was a meditation challenge. And then I moved I just stayed on her app. So I'm doing those all the time.
And there's some other ones that are like a mindfulness
Mhm.
app that walk you through, you know, centering your breathing, just staying in the moment. And those are excellent too. So thank you, Beth.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing on the meditation. There's a really great book that might help people if they're trying to get into meditation. It's called Stress Less, Accomplish More. And it talks about how to do this, you know, how to get into that meditation daily and what to, you know, even if it's not led, but it shows you how to do it.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I'll chime in quickly if we have a second.
Yes.
So just scaffolding off on what Beth just said, I use this journal, oops, that I can't tell if I'm up there, but that I was given at a conference, but I do the same thing. In the morning, I do at least 3 gratitudes. And at night, one of the things Mitra Ray talked about a couple conferences ago was just the fact that write down your wins, because I am really bad about, or I was really bad about not celebrating anything. And I realized it was a whole pattern of mine. And so I write down what I did. Like I typically only write down what I did for my business because that's where I want to grow. I do once in a while write something else down, but that's a great place because I couldn't sleep at night. I was always having anxiety of, oh, like you said, you got to call this guy, you got to call that guy. So I write down my wins because then I'm like, okay, I did do this today instead of I didn't do anything. Hal Elroyd is another good one for, I don't know if you've read his Miracle Morning, but a good place to go if you're looking for just getting yourself started, getting yourself going in the day and doing that. I'm actually reading this Energy Bus. Somebody mentioned it and I'm like, oh, I need to read that. And it's a really easy read. It's like a fun read. Give myself something to do fun once in a while because I don't add fun to my diet either. So it's a pretty fun read in my opinion. And I was going to say in the new office, whatever you call the new virtual office, I go to the dashboard. And if you go to just scroll down at the beginning in the dashboard, it will tell you your next 15 days, who's shipping. I don't personally print. I put it in my planner because if I print everything, I have a paper tiger all over my house. And that is a stress point for me. So a couple of ideas.
That's a great point. I think the paper tiger has multiplied and crawled over to my house because I'm swimming in those. Yes, excellent. Okay, thank you guys. That is a great book. I love the Energy Bus. It is a fun story type reading, but it's a great lesson learned. And I've heard about the Miracle Morning from other people that they love that too. So thank you for sharing. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being on here, and I will put this recording out for all of us and in our app as well. I hope you all have a great day. Happy Monday. Take some time to fill these out because, something's going to steal our attention right away. So just take even 15 minutes to write it down, and, don't just think it. We thought through it. Now ink it, writing it down. Because like Beth said, there's something that really powerful about brain to hand to paper, and it solidifies that in your mind. So I appreciate you guys, and looking forward to next week and then conference. It's not too long. We'll see each other. All right. Bye, everyone.